Now, we are thinking of happiness like it's some kind of a commodity or some kind of an attainment. No, when your life comes to ease, when you come to ease, happiness is a natural consequence. Coming to ease, what does it mean? There are many ways to look at this. Well, because I should not say look inward you already put a condition on me. So, is it true that today, even medically we know, every human experience has a chemical basis to it? So what you call as peace is one kind of chemistry, happiness is another kind of chemistry, joy is another kind of chemistry, misery is another kind of chemistry, agony is one kind of chemistry, ecstasy is another kind of chemistry. Every human experience has a chemical basis to it. Or in other words, you are a very complex chemical soup. The question is only, are you a great soup or a lousy soup? If you're a great soup, you taste good, not for somebody, for yourself. When you taste very good for yourself, if you sit here, if you feel extremely pleasant within yourself because the soup is great, then people say you are happy. If you become very, very pleasant, people will say you're joyful. If you become super pleasant, people will say you're ecstatic. So, to make it very simple and understandable for most people, your chemistry needs to be altered. There's a whole technology with which we can create the kind of chemistry that you want. If I teach you how to create a blissful chemistry within yourself, your very chemistry is blissful and you will be blissful. When you're blissful, you will no more be in pursuit of happiness. That is the biggest mistake, that we are in pursuit of happiness. Your life has to become an expression of joy. When your life is an expression of your experience, then what you do not do will not determine the quality of your life. How you are within yourself will determine the quality of your life. I'm sorry, once again I use the word within, but chemistry is not within, it is still outside of you. But if you know how to make the right soup, then being joyful is not an issue, it's a natural consequence of that. So, we can teach you a technology, we can teach you a methodology with which you will know how to stir the right kind of soup within you. This is what I'm calling as inner engineering, that you engineer your chemistry in such a way that it's blissful by its own nature, not because of something. If you think you're going to squeeze happiness out of something or somebody, you will be disappointed because nothing will yield anything unless you have a chemistry of blissfulness within you.
The great Saint Kabir said, "The fish in the ocean is thirsty." Hearing this, I cannot control my laughter. I cannot help laughing. This was Saint Kabir talking about the condition of the fish in the ocean. If I ask you, what will be your reaction to this state of the fish? I think it will leave you in stitches. You will simply burst into peals of laughter. Isn't that so? Now what if I tell you that your state is no different from that fish? What if I tell you that your condition is exactly the same as that fish? And Saint Kabir was actually talking about your condition using that metaphor of fish. You are bliss itself, but you are completely drowned in the ocean of suffering. Your very nature is bliss. It is the very fabric that you are made of. But you don't experience it at all. Why? What is the reason for this? It's because you have forgotten your true nature and take yourself to be what you are not. You have completely forgotten your real identity. You have completely forgotten your true face, and you identify so strongly with this body. For you, the body is what you really are. If I ask you, who are you? You will point to this body, and you will then start describing its condition. And then, if you are asked to give more information about yourself, you will then start talking about what this body does, which in common parlance is your profession. Right? But if you have an honest look at what you truly are, then you can have a glimpse of your divine conscious nature beyond these temporary forms of body and mind. The thing is, you are always experiencing your divine conscious nature. But due to forgetfulness, due to sheer force of habit, you take yourself to be this body-mind complex. For ages and ages, you have taken yourself to be nothing but this body-mind complex. That is why the identification is so strong. So, what should you do now to experience your conscious blissful nature? To experience your conscious blissful nature, you have to disidentify from this body-mind complex and see for yourself that it's not what you really are in your essence. You are the divine, blissful being completely apart from this body-mind complex. Now allow me to share with you some practices which will help you in recognizing your divine essence beyond this body-mind complex. Stop living in your head and start living in your whole body. What I mean is, stop living in past and future and pay your whole attention to the present moment. Be with what you are in this very moment. This is the most powerful way to access your blissful conscious nature. It's because you, in your divine conscious nature, are always present. Have you ever thought about it? No matter where you are always in the now. You are always in the present moment. You would be pleasantly surprised to know that this moment, the present moment, borrows the presence from you, the divine conscious you. It's because of you that this present moment exists. But the reason why you're not able to experience it is your mind. Your mind makes you live in past and future. You have to change this habit now. Stop dwelling in past and future. What has happened has happened. You cannot do anything about it now. Of course, you should learn lessons from your past, and that's its only use. You would be surprised to know that there are Zen monasteries in Japan where the monks are forbidden to talk about their past or their future. It's a spiritual practice. The mind cannot exist without past and future, and so it holds on to it with great force. So when you consciously dwell in the present moment, you are then dealing a lethal blow to the mind and coming back home to your conscious, blissful nature. One of the main reasons why you're not able to dwell in the present moment is because you always remain in resistance mode. Whatever happens in your life, you just resist that. There is no acceptance in you. I am telling you, without acceptance, there can be no spiritual life. Acceptance is the prerequisite to walk on the spiritual path. Acceptance is the most essential quality that every spiritual seeker must have. In fact, without this acceptance, you can't be called a spiritual seeker. Accept yourself. Accept the others, accept the world, accept what happens in your life without judgment, without any resistance. So, stop living in resistance. Stop living in denial. Embrace life with open arms. Know that you cannot lose anything in this world, nor can this world add anything to you. That is the ultimate truth. Nothing can be added to you, and nothing can be taken away from you. You are the divine, conscious, blissful being who lacks nothing. The whole universe exists in you. What can you lack? You may not accept it now, but the day you experience this ever-present truth, you would laugh at yourself thinking, "Oh, forgetting my eternally blissful nature, I wandered in this world for ages and ages in search of scraps of pleasure.